And now finally we're going to talk about the units of capacity. Now units of capacity is probably the most difficult one because it's one we're not quite used to and sometimes we get confused. Alright, so in units of capacity we have 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 quart equals 2 pints. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. Much different than regular ounces, okay? But I think we've all seen the Big G method, and so I'm just going to quickly go over the Big G method. So what it is that we have our gallon, as you can see here, our gallon. Inside that gallon we have our 4 quarts. We represent them through the Q. Okay, each quart 2 pints. So now you can start to see that inside a gallon there are 8 pints. Okay, and last but not least, in each pint, okay, so there are 2 cups in each pint. So now when you look through this, if you're asked a question such as how many cups are in a quart, well, you go here, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, so there are 4 cups in 1 quart, which means there are 16 cups in a gallon. Okay, there are 8 pints in a gallon. There are 2 quarts in a half gallon. So each one of these C's is worth 16 fluid ounces. So that means a pint is worth 16 ounces and a quart is worth 32 ounces. And then that would mean a gallon is worth 128 ounces. So using this little method, the Big G man, as some people refer to it as, using this method can sometimes help you. You can draw this out on a test off to the side really quickly, as long as you remember that there's a Big G with 4 Q's in it, and each Q there are 2 P's, and each P there are 2 C's. Okay, now let's talk conversions here. So what we're going to do is we're going to remember last time that we have our gallons and our cups, and inside the gallon we had 16 cups. So so if we're doing 5 gallons, what we want to do in this problem is take 16 times 5. Okay, so again, here's one of my little cheats. When you're multiplying something by 5 and it's not easy to do, I multiply it by 10 and then cut it in half. So 16 times 10 is 160. Divided by 2 is 80. So that's where I get my 80 cups here. Alright, now we're going from pints to quarts. Okay, so if you look off to the right again, each pint is worth 2 cups, but sorry, that didn't really help you there. Each quart has 2 pints in it. So let's think about this. Are we going to multiply or divide? Since the pint is smaller, we're going to have to divide here, okay? Because there are 2 pints for every quart. So we're going to take the 36 and we're going to divide it by 2 to give us 18 quarts. And finally, we're looking at a problem like this. 48 fluid ounces equals how many cups? Let's look over here. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take 48 and we are going to divide that by 8 to get our 6 cups. Okay? One thing I want you to remember is sometimes it may take multiple conversions. Alright? Like in the first problem, we could convert gallons to quarts, and then quarts to pints, and then finally pints to cups. And that's okay. Sometimes it takes multiple conversions and multiple steps, just like when you convert maybe inches to miles. First you want to find out how many feet are in a mile, and then go from there for how many inches are in a foot. So sometimes you have to convert multiple times and do multiple steps in order to solve a problem. And that's the customary system.